Minister, we have nearly 2,000 children at the moment in direct provision, and it's regrettable to think that out of all of that, 30 of those children in Monaghan are failing to actually access education. I'm just wondering, Minister, is it because it's temporary accommodation? Is that why this problem has arisen? Is that really the problem behind it? And if it is the problem behind it, is there a way that the Department of Justice and the Department of Education going forward can ensure that when we're relocating families to direct provision, that we actually don't put them into temporary accommodations, that we could actually source them into accommodation of the 39 ones that where we know that we have the supports and the whole wraparound service? Because I was listening to Minister Staunton yesterday on Newstalk, where he talked and he complimented how Borrisicane is actually working, where they have the wraparound services put in place. But it's very unforgiving that that lady had to go on Newstalk yesterday and talk about her 3 children. And one of them is from an ECHI point of view, which is from the preschool services as well. It's not just your department, Minister, it's also the Minister for Children and Youth Affairs, where that child couldn't actually access it either.
Thank you, Deputies, for observing time. Minister for Education and Skills, Joe McHugh.
Agus dus bar bhil buíos a ggóil chuig na teachtaí a lig fáinne an ceiseach inta tábhachta agus bhil a freigar a ggóil chugah bhanis. My department engages on an ongoing basis with officials in the Department of Justice and Equality in relation to education issues arising from the provision of accommodation for asylum seekers and refugees. In addition, TUSLA Education Support Services, which is under the remit of the Department of Children and Youth Affairs, assists with school enrolment and attendance for children residing in accommodation centres. The International Protection Accommodation Service, IPAS, formerly RIA, at the Department of Justice and Equality, has sourced temporary accommodation in Tracy's Hotel, Carrickmacross, since mid-September. Some families with children of school-going age have been accommodated in this location, while the Department of Justice and Equality seeks more permanent accommodation for them in a dedicated accommodation centre under the system known as direct provision. The priority for newly arrived applicants for international protection is to address their immediate needs, to apply for accommodation, to make an application for international protection, to apply for a PPSN so as to ensure access to weekly payments from the Department of Employment Affairs and Social Protection, and to ensure that they are linked with the HSE for medical care. In line with the provisions of the EU directive, every effort is made to enrol children of international protection applicants who are residing in accommodation under contract to the Department of Justice and Equality, including emergency accommodation in local schools, as soon as possible. School enrolled pupils, in accordance with the respective enrolment policies, following the receipt of an application for a school place, each school must advise of the outcome of each application in writing. In instances where difficulties arise in sourcing school places locally, the assistance and support of TUSLA Education Support Service is such similar to the assistance given to all other families who reside in the community. TESS is responsible for assisting with school enrolment and attendance, and where necessary, school transport is arranged under the school transport scheme operated by Bus Éireann on behalf of the Department of Education and Skills. Every effort is made to ensure that all children of school-going age receive an education at the earliest possible date. I understand TESS is working with the families concerned to ensure that arrangements are being made for school enrolments for the children in the accommodation centre in Carrickmacross. Just to update the deputies also, my department has seconded an official to the Department of Justice and Equality to deal with any queries that schools who are enrolling children from accommodation centres may have, and this official is also available to advise schools on specific queries on the range of supports available to schools and how to access supports. I just want to further update the deputies in relation to this particular situation. There has been contact with the officials from a post-primary principal earlier today, and he's happy to offer school places to the 3 post-primary children. We're still waiting on feedback from the primary school principal, but I'm confident that there is a confidence that there will be sufficient places available in the local area to place all primary school children also. I take the point raised here today by all the deputies that there is a collective responsibility, and even though there is an official seconded from my department to deal with it, in the Department of Justice, the Department of Children, TUSLA, we're all collectively responsible. And if there are better ways we can do this and get moving quicker, we're obviously interested in working as efficiently as possible in this regard. And I know as well that there is a European directive as well, where there is a 3-month requirement to have education from within 3 months of arrival. But I'm of the opinion, having attended a few different camps in Jordan in the last couple of years, the importance is always about to get as much education and intervention as an early opportunity as possible.